cover. Why would anyone want to read someone else's diary without asking first? June 30th. So, Mom and Dad think that I should keep a diary to help sort out everything I'm feeling. Since I'm only a few days old, I'm not sure where to even start. Right now, I'm feeling happy, sad, confused, enlightened, worried, hopeful, and hungry, all at the same time. Is this normal? July 15th. The most amazing thing happened today. It rained. I know, everybody has seen rain before, but this was my first time, and I got so excited that I ran through the house yelling for everyone to come see it. Dad came bolting up from the lab and was rather unhappy to find out that I'd made such a big deal of it. Mary Shelley's ghost, Frankie. I thought there were villagers with torches outside. I guess I must have looked either surprised or sad, because Dad gave me a big hug and said he was sorry he yelled. I wanted to go out and play in it, but Dad said he thought that might cause me to short out. Mom came to the rescue with an umbrella, rubber boots, and a raincoat. It was wonderful, and Dad even came out in his lab coat and boots to show me how to stomp puddles. Does life get any better than this? July 16th. I feel like I've got so much to learn between now and when school starts. What if I get excited about something that's just a normal, everyday occurrence, like the rain, and everybody laughs at me? Should I just be quiet and pretend I've seen it all before? I'm not even sure if that's possible for me, since everything is just so completely scary cool right now. July 17th. Okay, so one thing I've learned in my short life is that I am not a morning person. My dad is, though, and he insists on yelling, "It's alive!" every time I come upstairs for breakfast. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to stop doing that anytime soon, because when he finally stops laughing, he slaps his knee and says, "That just never gets old." Is it too soon for me to decide that breakfast is overrated? August 23rd. We went on our first family trip today to the mall. I was really excited, but also really nervous. Dad took the long way there and drove by Monster High to show me where I'd be going to school, which made me even more nervous, so that by the time we got to the mall, I was a total casket case. I almost asked Dad to take me home, but I went in anyway. We all had lunch at the food corpse, and then Mom took me shopping while Dad went to look for some neck bolt polish. The first place Mom took me was her favorite store, but all of the outfits sort of looked like old wedding dresses. I really didn't want to hurt Mom's feelings, and I didn't tell her this, but I wouldn't have been caught alive in most of those clothes. I guess Mom must have sensed that I wasn't very excited, 'cause we didn't stay there very long. As we were leaving the store, we ran into Claudine Wolf and Draculaura. Mom introduced me to them and said we were shopping for school clothes. Claudine looked at the store and started to say something, but Draculaura accidentally hit her with the umbrella she was carrying and said, "Miss Stein, if you would like us to show Frankie some of the places we shop, we'd be happy to do that." Fortunately, Mom said yes and mentioned something about finding Dad before he made it to the laboratory supply store. Claudine and Draculaura took me around to all the scary cool stores and told me all about Monster High. It was like we'd known each other forever. Draculaura is so nice, and Claudine Wolf is so confident and funny. While we were shopping, I confessed I wasn't sure what kind of styles would look good on me. Draculaura and Claudine both started laughing, and I thought maybe I'd said something wrong. Then they both put an arm around me, and Claudine said, "Girlfriend, with your figure, you shouldn't be wondering how good a style looks on you, but how bad you'll make it look on anyone else who wears it." Draculaura even invited me to try out for the cheerleading squad. I was too excited to tell her that I didn't know what that was, but it sounded like fun. By the time Mom and Dad came to find me, I didn't want to leave. I am so glad I stuck it out and didn't ask Dad to take me home. August 24th. Didn't see Dad very much today. He's been working on a special project in his lab, and he said I'm not allowed to see what it is yet. I asked Mom if I was getting a new sister or brother, and she almost choked on the cappuccino she was drinking. Karloff's crypt, sweetheart. Whatever gave you that idea? I heard Mom telling Dad about it later, and it sounded like they were laughing. I wonder if other teenage monsters have parents who do odd things. August 26th. I got into my first fight with my parents today, and they sent me to my room. I couldn't believe it. I must be the only monster that this has ever happened to. So, what happened was Claudine Wolf and Draculaura called to invite me to a moonlight party on the beach. I said yes without asking Mom and Dad first, and I was so excited that I ran upstairs to tell them, and they said no. We're sorry, dear, but we already have plans to do something as a family. You should have asked us first. I told them that all the monsters that would be in my class at Monster High were there having a scary good time, and that I'd already told Claudine Wolf and Draculaura that I could go, and it just wasn't fair that I wouldn't be able to. And then water started running down my cheeks. I didn't know what to do, and I thought maybe I'd somehow broken my eyes. Dad and Mom gave me a hug, which I didn't want at first, and told me it wasn't my eyes, but my heart that broke a little bit. But that it was okay, because hearts still work even when they break. Then they told me that the water was tears, and that it was very unusual for a monster to be able to cry, and that made me even more special. I had to call Claudine Wolf and Draculaura back and let them know I couldn't go, but they told me it was okay and that next time they would tell me ahead of time so that I could make sure Mom and Dad didn't have plans. I guess I still have a lot to learn, but at least I've got good parents and friends to help me with the lessons. August 28th. This morning, Dad revealed his special project. A new pet he made just for me. It's really cute and sweet, and it's not exactly a dog or cat or fish, but more like a combination of everything. Dad told me that he took the best qualities of all of the best pets and put them together. It barks like a dog, purrs like a kitten, swims like a fish, and has spikes like a dragon, and eats bananas like a monkey. I'm going to call it What's-It. Dad said its pet license is like 10 pages long, and the monster vet wasn't even sure where to begin the examination. I don't care though. What's-It slept at the foot of my bed and purred me to sleep. I love my life. September 1st. I had to get stitches today. Well, I guess I should really say new stitches. I was throwing a ball for What's-It and I heard a rip as the ball went one way and my arm went the other. I know that sounds terrible, but it didn't really hurt. It was kind of embarrassing though, and I was really glad no one was around to see it. What's-It brought the ball and my arm back, and I went inside to see if Dad could fix it. Mom was not very happy with Dad and told him he needed to work on his knot tying skills. Dad showed me how to stitch my arm back on and then gave me an emergency sewing kit to carry with me in case it happened when he wasn't around. I really hope this doesn't happen in front of my friends or I'll be mortified. September 6th. I got my first letter in the mail today. It was my class schedule and a note welcoming me to Monster High. I think I'm more nervous now than I was before that first day at the mall. It's okay though, because I know that I'm getting ready to start my next great adventure, and I just can't wait to get started.